Hey guys, Pyker here, and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Reach. We are on episode 11, and today we are going to try to get Bill, Jeb, and Bob out into orbit around the moon. That is the plan, anyways. And hopefully it goes well. But we do need to ditch our launch stage, so we're going to get rid of that right now and light up this stage real quick. And we're going to continue to get into orbit because I am not completely there yet. So, bigger is better, guys. Bigger is better. Because we now have bigger rocket parts, so it is a lot easier to get things into orbit, especially things that weigh a ton. And hopefully we'll actually be able to get above 70 here. Perfect. Okay, that'll work. I can deal with that. Let's get rid of this life support monitoring system. Let's give you a little rundown of the craft. We've got two carbonite detectors. We've got two material bays. We've got two mystery goos. We've got a soil sample, a soil sampler, a thermometer, and we also have a mini carbonite generator. It's a little generator that runs off of carbonite, so in case we are overnight and trying to mine carbonite to fill our tanks, which I hope are full. Yes, they are. I made sure that I filled those tanks up before I before I left the VAB. But we have a little generator in case it's overnight and we're still trying to mine carbonite to fill up our tanks, so we'll still be good in that sense of the word. We also have an ass ton of battery life on this thing. Not to mention we have, I think it said 209 days worth of life support for 3 Kerbals, so that's pretty freaking good. And we have a carbonite drill underneath in our little MKS LS40 module here, which is pretty neat. I found that and I was like, ooh, this could be useful because I couldn't use one of these because it wouldn't you can't attach a decoupler to it. But with this little base, you can attach the drill underneath and then attach a decoupler to the base. So it's a little weird, but it actually works out really nicely. So that should be fine. So let's go ahead and set up our maneuver node. Sorry, I just wanted to give you guys a little rundown on the spacecraft, so you guys weren't missing out on anything important or fun. Let's figure out where the hell we need to meet up with the moon here. Okay, definitely not that way. Probably right there-ish. Yeah, that looks about right. 38. That sounds lovely. That is a lovely thing. All right, let's find our maneuver node here on our nav ball, and hopefully we'll be able to make this burn without running out of fuel. That would be a plus, because we do have quite a large engine underneath. I mean, this is a 600 kilonewton. I think I don't know if it's kilonewtons, but let's see here. I want to say it's 600 kilonewtons of thrust, so it's quite a large engine for what we're using it for, but we do have a very, very heavy lander on it, so I figured the extra oomph would probably help. Now the only question is whether or not do we have 2 minutes worth of burn for it or not. So that's the big question. I'm hoping that we do. But we're going to try to get this thing out to orbit around the moon this episode, and then we've got to design and build a space lab to bring it into orbit around the moon, so we can hook up with it. So we're literally going to hop. We're gonna biome hop on the moon, and then once we're done with all the biomes on the moon, we're going to do that for Minmus, and then once we're done with Minmus, we're going to go to Duna, and then so on and so forth. And hopefully we'll be able to. And holy crap, I missed the burn like by a minute completely. All right, well, let's do another round. I think I can do that. Let's click on this real quick and right-click on it and spin change the meetup point here. Because I completely forgot that, well, I didn't forget. I just missed I missed our burn time, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to adjust this just a touch. This is 245. See if we can get that a little bit closer without it wigging out on us. 100. It's not ideal, but we can deal with it, so we shall wait again to go around the orbit of said Kerbin and wait for our burn to come around. Apologies. I apologize for missing our burn time, but I also don't want to kind of don't want to screw this up too bad. We've got plenty of life support, and Bill, Jeb, and Bob are happy as clams to be just hanging out in orbit around Kerbin. Not to mention, we still need to build a space station around Kerbin, a self-sufficient space station, which is probably going to take quite a while. But we will probably experiment with that at some point in the near future. Probably once we start getting out towards and biome hopping successfully and getting the gist of what we need to do out there. And holy crap, I'm missing the burn again. Okay, I only missed it by about 10 seconds that time though, so so it's not that detrimental, I guess. Oh, I'm an idiot. Anyways, I was talking. We're gonna set up the space lab and the lander out at the moon and get them all situated and squared away. Possibly do a couple biome hops for an episode, and then probably after that I'll do the biome hops off camera, and I will probably start building a space station around Kerbin. I'm debating on how high I want to set it above Kerbin. I was thinking 200 kilometers, but I don't really know. I'm not really sure what the ideal height for setting a space station around Kerbin is. I feel like 200 would be pretty good, so I think that might be what we're going with. But why don't you guys let me know what you guys think is the ideal height for a space station around Kerbin? Because I've been switching it around here and there all the time. Like I think I set one at 300. I've set one at 100. I've set 100 at 150. I think I set one at 250. I can't exactly remember, how many times I've set a space station at a certain height, but I've experimented all in between. So why don't you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think is an ideal height for a space station around Kerbin? Because I'm interested in hearing what your guys' thoughts are on it. Anyways, almost done with our burn. We're a little bit behind, but this big engine seems to be doing the trick just fine. We also are not ideally... We don't have an ideal amount of fuel, unfortunately. I wish we did. I probably should have put a little bit smaller of an engine on this thing, but I think it'll be okay. Let's take a look here and see if we are actually going to encounter the moon. Doesn't look like it wants us to yet. Was that it? I can't tell ever. Our map is, or my map anyways, has been jacked up here for some unknown reason. I don't know exactly why. Let's see if we can set this as a target. See if that helps. I mean, there's two different lines, so I think we're obviously going to encounter the moon, but I don't know if, see, now it's going to jack with me, or it's going to screw with me, because I'm going to try to put a maneuver on the blue. There we go. Now, can we adjust this so we have, like, a nice encounter? Not really. Doesn't want to give me a very close encounter at all. If we speed up a little bit. There we go. I think what we'll do is we'll probably set it up at about 30 kilometers above the surface, roughly. And then we'll probably bring the space lab out and go about it, and set the space lab up at like 50. And then we'll land our lander and start our biome hopping. I think that's the best idea. Anyways. So let's get out to our node. It's a 1 second burn, which is like nothing. I'm hoping that we'll have enough fuel left in our insertion stage to at least get us into orbit around the moon. I don't know if we will, but it would be ideal if we did. I would enjoy it thoroughly if that was the case. Okay, I think we might have... Now, we're going to get all jacked up here now. Looks like it was spinning in one section, but now it looks fine. What are we at? 27, 28? That's fine. We'll quick save just in case something goes wrong. Because as you guys know, things have a tendency of going wrong whenever I play this game. Please come in behind the moon. Alright, we're coming in behind the moon. There we go. Okay. Now I know we're not gonna have any fuel to do this, but we're gonna set up a maneuver. Okay, it's freaking out again. There we go. Okay. Let's try to adjust this so we're a little bit more on an even plane. That looks good. Let's find that. I think we're gonna have to burn south for it. Yes, I was correct. Abooyah! I love being able to guess which way I need to burn. Alright, so let's just burn now because we don't need to do it at the actual node. We just kind of do that to give ourselves an idea of where we need to burn to. That looks pretty good. Done with that. Set up a maneuver on the periapsis. Bring it down. 76. 46. That's doable. Like I said, I just want to get this thing into orbit. I don't want to necessarily land. Well, I guess we could land it. Might as well, right? Might as well land, right? Makes sense to me. That's what I say. How much fuel do we have left? Oh, wow. None. Well, I guess this stage is going into deep space. Or the bottom stage of this lander is going into deep space, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. But we are going to get rid of it, let's say like now-ish. So we'll get rid of it now, because we don't, I mean, there's no fuel left in it. Activate these engines, and we'll actually shut down 2 of them, because I don't think we need more than 2 to get into orbit. What's our burn at? Okay. Let's do it. Oh, and our burn is actually a lot less now because these Karbonite engines put out a lot of thrust. 4 Karbonite engines might have been a little overkill for this, but I'd rather have it. I'd rather have too much thrust than not enough. That's what I say. All right, so we're in orbit. Let's bring it down. Do a little bit of a slow burn, just to do a little tiny adjustment. Little tiny adjustment. Good. As far as I can tell, anyways. All right. 79, 45. Where did we land before? Can we look at the SCANsat? Will that give us our biomes? I hope it does. I don't want to look at uranium. I want to look at carbonite. Can I activate the carbonite engines? Or the carbonite scanners? Is that what I need to do? Where is my spacecraft? I can't see it with this big map in the way. There it is. Found it. Alright. Let's activate these. Start resource scan. Hopefully the SCANsat will now pick up where the carbonite is. I don't think it really matters. I think we can actually see, this is what I mean. I don't want to look at uranium. I don't really care about uranium. I don't know why it's showing that instead of carbonite, it's just weird. Okay. Biome. Okay, so we've got the Highlands, the East Crater, and the Midlands, and I think the Northwest Crater as well. We've got science from. Okay, so Highlands, Midlands. I guess we should go for, let's go for the Northern Basin. That looks interesting. Or we can just kind of land in one of these craters and call it a Midland crater, maybe. East Farside Crater. Highland craters. Yeah, I think we might just go for a big crater. I wish I could set like a marker on this map. That'd be extremely useful. But it looks like it's next to the east crater, which is pretty much like right below us, or right behind us, rather. What is this? Our Apoaps is like right above it. Okay, so this is the far side crater. Ooh, there's canyons too. I didn't know that. Huh. Let's go to this crater. Since it's right freaking here anyways, we might as well stop in that crater. That's what I say. Alright, so let's close this map. There's more than likely there's some kind of carbonite in the area. That's good enough maneuver for me. Alright, so let's find our node again. Hopefully we have enough RCS fuel. I guess we don't really have a lot of RCS fuel, unfortunately. It's not the best thing in the world. Alright. Set up on our node. Let's fast forward to it. And once we start getting down lower, we'll activate both the rest of the engines for the carbonite to help slow us down in a hurry. It's a 3-second burn. Okay, that's a quick save. Because like I always say, things tend to go wrong whenever I do these kinds of things, so it's a good idea to quick save before you even enter the atmosphere here. We'll deploy our landing legs just so I don't forget. And let's fast forward and hopefully come down in a nice soft spot in the crater. Alright, now let's activate our other engines. Thank goodness they all share fuel. That is extremely helpful. We'll point retrograde. I think we're going to quick save now. Again, I think that'll be a safe spot to quick save again. Alright, ooh, that's a pretty picture. Let's get a screenie of that. That's nice, isn't it? Lovely. Alright. I think I'm going to look into that better atmospheres mod as well. If my computer can handle it, along with all the other mods that I'm running, I think I might install that one too. I think that would be cool. Alright, so we're going to land dead center in this salt bitch. So then we can actually just fly north and get up into these canyons and get some science from there too. Alright. Remember, don't quick save until we're on the ground. We don't need to burn a lot of... We don't need a lot of thrust to slow us down, which is amazing. I love these carbonite engines. They're so powerful. Granted, they do burn through fuel at an alarming rate, but man, the amount of thrust you can get out of them is just astounding. Okay, we're about to pretty much level off here. So I think we should be able to go straight up and down now. At least to an extent. Burn a little bit just so we are straight up and down. Alright. That should do it. Hopefully we can have a nice soft landing. That would be a plus. There's our shadow. I think the amount of thrust that I am using currently will probably slow us down just enough in time to get on the surface. Actually, it might be a little overkill too. I just want a soft landing, Jeb. That's all I want, Jeb. Just do me that solid and I will be happy. One soft landing at a time, please. Come on. There's our timer. A little bit more thrust. Oh, that was a little bit of a rough landing. Are these like, what's the word I'm looking for? Are these, they're like rigid as hell. Huh. Interesting. All right, well, we are on the surface of the moon, so next episode we'll probably be looking at doing some science, or grabbing some science, and I will be building the space lab off camera. And we will be putting that into orbit around the moon, hopefully. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this episode, be sure to drop a like at the bottom of the video. I do greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode of Kerbal Reach. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I will see all of you next time.